So today we're going to talk about a company that isn't just a company. It's a force of nature in modern India. We're talking about Reliance Industries. This is a story about how one single entity is powering the country's present and, at the same time, building its future. It's a fascinating story. Okay, let's dive right in.
Really think about that question for a second. How is it possible? From the data plan that's letting you watch this right now, to the groceries that show up at your door, to the gas in your car, their footprint is just immense. So in this explainer, we're going to unpack how they just pulled off their strongest financial quarter ever.
And what a quarter it was. Get this. Even with all the economic challenges swirling around the globe, Reliance posted a record-smashing revenue of nearly 300,000 crore rupees. That's a 10% jump. So the big question is, how'd they do it? Well, it all comes down to two incredibly powerful new growth engines.
All right, first up, the digital and retail backbone of the country. And look, we're not just talking about selling phones or SIM cards here. We're talking about building the entire ecosystem that modern India is starting to run on. And right at the heart of that, of course, is one name, Jio.
The scale we're dealing with here is it's mind-boggling. Jio now has over 515 million subscribers. To try and wrap your head around that number, that is more than the entire population of United States and Canada combined. Just incredible.
And it's not just about the total number of users, it's the speed of adoption that's just as wild. Out of that massive base, more than 253 million people are already on 5G. Reliance has been adding new 5G users at a blistering pace. We're talking 19 million new users every single quarter.
And listen, this is a really big deal. This isn't just some vanity metric they can brag about. It shows a fundamental shift in behavior. With 5G carrying more than half of all their data traffic, it proves people aren't just signing up. They are actively using this next-gen tech to live, to work, and to connect in totally new ways.
So, the multi-million-dollar question is, how do you keep all these people from switching? Well, you do it by making cutting-edge technology accessible to literally everyone. Through their partnership with Google, they're giving unlimited 5G users access to powerful AI tools like Gemini Pro, research assistants, and a whopping 2 terabytes of cloud storage. It's a brilliant move to keep customers locked into their ecosystem. Okay, let's switch gears to that second new engine, retail. So while Jio is busy conquering the digital world, Reliance Retail is absolutely dominating the physical one. And the name of the game here is speed. They are now processing, on average, 1.6 million quick commerce orders every single day. That is a 4.6 times explosion from just last year.
And they're not just selling you other people's stuff. Oh no. They're aggressively building their own consumer goods empire. They're reviving iconic brands like Campa, buying up regional powerhouses like the Staples brand Udahayam, and even snapping up the global rights to heritage brands like Brile Cream.
But wait a minute. All of this, the 5G rollout, the retail expansion, it all costs a staggering amount of money. So where does all that cash come from? Well, that brings us to what we could call the old engine, the traditional oil and chemicals business. This is the financial powerhouse, the engine room that's funding the company's entire future.
Now, to really understand their success this quarter, you got to understand this one term, the fuel crack. It sounds technical, but it's pretty simple. It's basically the profit margin a refinery makes. Think about it like a baker's profit on a loaf of bread. It's the difference between what they pay for the flour and what they sell the finished bread for.
As you can see here, something pretty dramatic happened recently. Because of all the supply disruptions happening around the world, these fuel cracks, these profit margins absolutely skyrocketed. We're talking 60 to 100% higher. For Reliance's oil to chemicals division, that meant a massive boost in profits for every single barrel they processed.
But it wasn't a simple one-sided story. While the refining business was booming, the other side of that business, the exploration part, actually saw its earnings go down. This was mainly because of a natural decline in gas volumes from a major field. So it's a balanced picture, right? It shows both the strengths and the challenges inside their legacy business.
So this is the really crucial part. What is Reliance doing with all these massive profits from oil? They're executing a brilliant plan. They're using the old engine to build the ultimate new engine, a green energy future for India.
And this isn't some distant dream on a PowerPoint slide. It is happening right now, on the ground in Jamnagar. They've already commissioned their very first solar factory, and they plan to scale that up massively. At the same time, construction is going full speed ahead on these enormous battery gigafactories. The goal here is to create a complete, self-sufficient green energy supply chain, all made in India.
Now, all of this ambition costs billions upon billions of dollars. Which leads us to what some are calling the unseen win of the quarter. It's this quiet but incredibly powerful vote of confidence from the entire global financial community.
S&P Global, one of the biggest credit rating agencies in the world, just upgraded Reliance to an A- rating. Now, this is a huge deal. They are now the first manufacturer in India to be rated 2 full levels above India's own national rating.
But okay, let's be real for a second. Why should you or I care about some letter grade from a stuffy financial agency? I mean, what does A- actually mean for the company and all these huge plans they have?
Well, it turns out it means everything. Think of it in 3 simple steps. First, it's a massive global seal of trust. Second, and this is key, it unlocks access to cheaper money. A whole class of global investors will now lend to them at better rates. And third, that cheaper money is literally the fuel for the future. It's what lets them keep pouring billions into building out 5G and those green energy gigafactories.
And you can hear it straight from the chairman, Mukesh Ambani himself. He said the business delivered a robust financial performance. This quote, pointing out that 16.4% growth number, it really just ties a bow on the whole thing. It shows how the success of the new digital and retail businesses are a result of the incredible financial strength of the entire company.
Which leaves us with one final fascinating thought to chew on. Reliance is using the profits from today's dominant energy source, oil, to build the infrastructure for tomorrow's clean energy. So is this the blueprint? Is this how legacy energy giants all around the world can and maybe even must navigate the massive global transition to a greener future?